The peaceful Utah landscape and the invigorating mountain air apparently isn't enough to cool down the heat between Utah Jazz teammates Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert. Sources say the team may look to trade one of their stars after tensions continue over Gobert's carelessness in potentially spreading a deadly virus that got Mitchell sick several weeks ago. It's the same virus that led to the shutdown of the current NBA season and has changed the way of life for most everyone in the world. In today's video, I'll tell you why a trade may be Utah's only option and what that trade should be. What's up, guys? This is Troy, host of the Half Court Report YouTube channel, still going strong over here even during the NBA shutdown, coming at you with quality content all the time. We're on the road to 100 subs by the end of April, so come on aboard, join us, and there's plenty of room for everybody. Make sure you sub to this channel and follow me on Twitter as well at Half Court Report. So there's been lots of unhappiness going on in the Utah Jazz organization, and this is centering around Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert. Things have gotten to the point with the two stars that it looks like someone may have to get traded. I'm not going to rehash it here, but there's the accusation that Gobert spread the virus that we can't say on YouTube or else they're going to censor the video, but he potentially gave that virus to Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell is not letting it go. Both guys are feeling better now, but there's still that bad blood between the two. Of the two, I would keep Mitchell and trade away Rudy Gobert. A couple reasons. Mitchell is younger, he has a better contract, he's still on that rookie deal, he's not going to be up for an extension for a couple more years. He's got untapped potential, he's the first option on a great team. Rudy Gobert is more complimentary. Yeah, he's great, but he's impacting things more on the defensive end. He's not going to be creating his own shot. He's not going to be getting teammates involved like Donovan Mitchell. I went through every NBA team and I have the one trade that I haven't seen anybody else talking about, but this is going to be the best trade that I think Utah would be able to make for Rudy Gobert. It should be Rudy Gobert and Mike Conley to the Washington Wizards for John Wall, Thomas Bryant, Ish Smith, and Mo Wagner. So I can hear people right now saying,
Wall is injured, he's washed up, he's overpaid, he's not the same player he used to be.
I hear what you're saying, but I think if you hear me out, by the end of this video, you're going to agree with my viewpoint here. So let's look at how these lineups would change. So for the Wizards, Mike Conley will be starting at point guard, Brad Beal stays at the 2. I have them re-signing Davis Bertans, put him at the 3. Rui Hachimura going to be at the 4, and then Gobert will be at the 5. Going to have a bench unit of Cole Anthony, who I think they can get with that 9th or 10th pick. Jerome Robinson, who came over from the Clippers at the trade deadline. Still some untapped potential there, backing up at the 2. Troy Brown going into his 3rd year, I believe. Then you have Admiral Schofield backing up the 3 and the 4, and AP, big man, backing up Gobert at the 5. For the Utah Jazz, John Wall is going to be your point guard of the future. Then you've got Donovan Mitchell at the 2, Royce O'Neal at the 3. Bogdanovich is at the 4 as a stretch big. Then you've got Thomas Bryant at the 5. Rounding out the bench, Ish Smith can back you up at the 1. Joe Ingles is going to be there, swinging between the 3, maybe even some small ball 4. Mo Wagner is going to be a guy coming off the bench, along with Ed Davis and Tony Bradley, who are some backup bigs. So let's look at this deal from the Wizards side. They have one of the worst defenses in the league. Scott Brooks, their coach, though, always preaching strong defense, so maybe he can make it work with Gobert and with Conley. Gobert going to be that defensive anchor. You're going to have Davis Bertans stretching the floor, kind of like what Bogdanovich was doing in Utah. If you look at the numbers, Bogdanovich hit so many threes off Rudy Gobert screens this past season. He was one of the league leaders in that. Bertans, though, he's even a better shooter. He shot 42% on almost 9 attempts per game. He's just going to be open all day with Gobert setting screens for him. Conley helps run the team. He's a nice running mate for Brad Beal, allows him to operate as that number 1 option. Conley, also another hard-nosed defender, so you're going to have strong defense at the 1 and at the 5. But you've got a group of players that are growing together, learning to play together, and learning to form an identity together. I think this is a team that could compete not only for the playoffs, but home court advantage in the Eastern Conference. Let's look at it from Utah's side. And yeah, they are taking a risk with this trade. And I admit that, but it's a risk that could play out in the long run. You got to remember, Utah is a small market team, so sometimes they have to swing for the fences. They need these types of moves that have the potential to catapult them to another level, and I think this move could do just that. So let's break it down player by player. Wall's deal
is huge.
There's no sugarcoating it. He's owed $41 million next year, $44 million the year after that, $47 million the year after that, which is a player option. You got to think he's going to pick that up. Currently, he is a top 5 paid player in the league. But you have to remember, why was he given this contract in the first place? He's a 5-time All-Star. He's a defensive second-teamer. He was a 3rd-team All-NBA. His issue has not been talent. His issue has been being able to stay healthy. And he really hasn't been that healthy since the 2016-2017 season. But I think he's rounding back into form. Everything I've read says that he's well on his way to getting back to close to the same player he was before all his injuries, and that'll happen by next season. A healthy John Wall and Donovan Mitchell backcourt would be one of the best backcourts, if not the best backcourt in the Western Conference. I also like the idea of putting a bigger player like Wall next to more of an undersized player like Donovan Mitchell. Now let's look at who else the Jazz are going to be getting from this trade, because it's really about giving Utah that extra depth as a team as well. Thomas Bryant, who would be the new starting center. He was injured for much of last year, but when he played, he averaged 12 points, 7 rebounds. He's still only 22 years old. He's got a nice shooting stroke. He doesn't shoot it a ton from deep, but the mechanics are there. He also sets good screens. He rolls to the rim for easy buckets. He's shown also that he can reinvent his game and put in the work to improve. When he came into the league, he was just your strict back to the basket center. But now he's a guy who's starting to stretch the floor and even play make a little bit. And this is all in only a few seasons. He does need to pick up the defense, but I think Quinn Snyder is a perfect coach for that. Of course, he comes from that Popovich system. They're always stressing defense. He's a great defensive coach. He has great defensive schemes. I think he can put Bryant in a lot of the right spots. Also, you have Ish Smith coming over in this trade. Ish Smith has played for basically every single team in the NBA, but he's still good for about 10 points a game. He can start in a pinch. He can run a team when need be. He's also on that expiring deal. Final piece of this trade is Mo Wagner. He just finished his 2nd year, averaged 10 points, 5 rebounds. He's another stretch big. He tries on both sides of the floor. He's not a shot blocker. He's not a rim protector. I feel his trajectory is more in the range of someone like Milwaukee's Ersan Ilyasova, but he's a good guy who you can put in an 8 to 10 man rotation. I like him sharing the floor with Ed Davis or with Tony Bradley. I think defense is something that's still a little bit concerning for Utah with this trade, but hopefully you're going to have John Wall getting back to the defender that he once was, that all-NBA level defender. Then you have Royce O'Neal, Joe Ingles, also helping to bring that defensive intensity. So maybe you're getting someone in free agency too. The drop-off, I don't think, is going to be as significant as it looks at first glance. So here's what it comes down to, and unless something drastic changes, either Donovan Mitchell or Rudy Gobert is going to be on their way out of Utah. Trading Donovan Mitchell is not the right move. That's going to set this team back for the next 5 years. But making a shrewd trade like this Conley, Gobert, for John Wall, and other pieces trade, that's something that could keep Utah on top of the Western Conference for the foreseeable future. Hey guys, one more thing. Here's some more videos to check out on the Half Court Report channel. I hope you like them, and thanks for watching.